showing you how I use all of my favorite Kosas products during our annual summer sale. I actually use both Dream Beam Original and Dream Beam Sunlit, and I use them for different reasons. You don't have to pick one because they're 20% off. If I know I'm gonna have a lot of sun exposure or like I'm really gonna be outside, I layer them. Use Dream Beam Original first. It's SPF 40, 20% of zinc oxide. So I know for sure I'm gonna be protected in the sun. When I want a little bit more of a glowy look, I use Dream Beam Sunlit. This one has a little bit more bronzy glow. Don't forget your neck. All have slightly different shades in summer and winter, so this is actually the perfect opportunity to get your summer shade. I'm using BB Burst in the shade 24 right now. During the winter, I use the shade 22. I could build more layers of this if I wanted to, but it has that perfect hydrated finish and it replaces your moisturizer. It's insanely hydrating and it just looks really natural. Obviously, Revealer Concealer, this is a bestseller for a reason. It's the perfect finish, the perfect coverage, and it actually is delivering clinically active skincare while doing everything that it does. I will sometimes use two different shades, one for my under eye that's a lot brighter, and then one for the rest of my face that's more of an exact match. I'm using 3.8 on my under eye and 5.5 on the rest of my face. It's the perfect time to get your two shades while they're 20% off. There's a 0% chance that I can live without Cloud Set. I want to look shiny, I do want to look glowy, and Cloud Set is one of the few powders that actually allows you to do that. Face detailer brush, it's this little guy, and I use this when I want to just do like a targeted application under my eyes. I use the bigger, fluffier powder brush for larger areas like my forehead, and just a light sweep on the rest of my face. No secret that this is my favorite Kosas product, and this fan brush was made to go with it. Using the shade Beachy, and I love that this is a glowy bronzer. It genuinely makes you look like you've been in the sun. It has this like healthy, pretty sheen. I almost forgot to talk about this. The special thing about the Revealer blender is that it really tapers and it goes to a very, very pointy tip, and it's made for Revealer concealer, so you can really get into the nook and cranny of the inner part of your eye where you have the darkness. The secret to a really natural, dimensional looking brow is to use multiple shades with different tones. I use the Brow Pop Dual Action Pencil in medium brown and Brow Pop Nano in dark brown. One is slightly warmer and one is slightly darker and cooler. An area where I have sparseness like that, I just flick it in. It's all about connecting the lines of disconnection. So I have a little disconnection here, just gonna fill it in. I like to measure where the tail of my brow should end, and I do that by going from the corner of my nose to the corner of my eye to the corner of my brow. So that means my brow should end here. And because Brow Pop Nano has a 1mm tip, it lets me do these hair-like strokes. So it really looks like the feathered end of my brow. I am missing out on that much of the tail of my brow. Next secret for a dimensional brow, two different shades of Air Brow. I use the darker shade on the tail of my brow and the lighter shade on the front of my brow. Lighter colored hairs that are on the tail so that I can really maximize and show those. I never want the front of my brow to look boxy or heavy, so we'll use a lighter shade there. These are two things that I use every single day and I cannot live without, and not a lot of people actually know about them. This is the Kosas deodorant, it's called Chemistry, and this is the Kosas body wash, and it's called Good Body Skin. I made both of these just for my own personal use. I have very persistent and strong BO that I've dealt with my entire life, and I've always struggled with body acne. The alpha hydroxy acids in Chemistry help to lower the pH of your underarm so that bacteria can't grow there and therefore you can't smell. It's not an antiperspirant, it just makes you not have any BO. Good Body Skin is made with glycolic acid, lactic acid, and mandelic acid, and they're used at very specific levels so that they're not harsh or sensitizing, because if it's too strong, it will make your body acne worse. This is perfectly calibrated. I've been using this for a few years now, and like all I ever really wanted was Good Body Skin, and now I finally have it. The Plump and Juicy Lip Boost. I use this for everything. I use it like as a lip mask while I'm prepping my makeup. I use it overnight. I use it as a lip gloss throughout the day. It's made with 5 times more active ingredients than wet lip oil gloss, which already has a ton of really incredible plumping actives, including some of the best peptides ever for lips. I'm gonna let that do its magic while I talk about blush. I'm all about building a blush wardrobe. I don't think you can get away with just having one single blush. This is obviously a great time to get a few different shades. These are some of my favorites that will really help you start out your blush wardrobe. These are meant to be layered, so Dreamland is a really neutral blush that I use almost to create some structure in my face. It's like blush without really looking like you're wearing blush. And I am using the angled cheek brush. It kind of follows the contour of your cheekbone. For color, Euphoria is a mauve shade that you really can't go wrong with. It's like slightly cool and slightly warm at the same time. I do this one closer to the apples of my cheeks to bring a little bit more color to my face. And if I really want to pop a color, I use Butterflies. This one is a bestseller for a reason. It's such a special shade of pink. It just makes you happy. Just like I do a blush wardrobe, I also like to have a lip wardrobe. I use 2 different shades on a very regular basis. The shade Max when I really want like a barely there lip. I can wear this pretty much anywhere. School pickup, grocery store, gym, beach. Even though it's really subtle, for me, it really makes a big difference because it just pretty much lets me shape out my lips. If I want something a little more, I always reach for the shade Beyond. It's a bit more of a pinky mauve. I can use it all over and it can really like actually get a lot of color out of it. Or I can just sort of lightly line it and tap it out and just get that subtle sort of like bitten look. I'm in love with human looking shades, and wet lip oil gloss in Unbuttoned is such a special shade. It looks a little different on everyone, but equally beautiful and special. Easy. The other best-selling wet lip oil shade is Unhooked. Also a neutral shade, but it has a different personality. It's a bit cooler in tone. We're always looking for a lip that just sort of looks like us, but a little better. And I like to have multiple options of that. A very little known secret for all you chapstick lovers. Most lip balms have like 3 ingredients. It's a wax and an oil and like some scent, and they actually tend to dry out your lips. Lip Fuel is very, very special. It's made with a specific complex of hyaluronic acid and konjac root. Konjac root is a plant ingredient. You may have seen it in those sponges you wash yourself in the shower with. It can hold multiple times of its own weight in water, and that's in here. So it creates an intense amount of hydration when you wear this, and it lasts over time. This is also a guy favorite. Everything is 20% off. It only happens once a year, and it's going on right now.